Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Lanta Mentorship. And we're going to end off the week with another clickbait Dave Ramsey a thumbnail. And we're also going to talk about the true cost of his first baby step, save $1,000 in a beginner emergency fund. So let me go ahead and zoom this right here. So we see step one of his 7 baby steps. It saved $1,000, and notice he uses the word beginner because it's like saying, yeah, it's really not effective, but it starts with something, right? And the true cost of this, right? So we're going to kind of review from a different angle the situations we did previously. And as you can see here, I don't follow baby step one. You can see my banking, one of my last banking statements right here, where I started with zero, I ended with zero. Not going to save $1,000. No thanks, Dave. And we'll just focus on step two, which is pay off all the debt. I mean, that's a good plan, right? Don't focus on step one because step one has a huge opportunity cost. So not only interest, but also time, right? So let's just go right here and review the true cost of Dave Ramsey's step one. And, is it true that I'm going to lose 14 grand by using step one? So what is step one? Again, save $1,000. So if I'm in this situation where I make good money and I went crazy, right? Crazy with 10 credit cards. And how many credit cards is this? Or how many? Well, 10 credit cards, how much in debt? 167,000 of credit card debt, right? And because I went crazy, I only have a penny in savings in the first month, right? A penny. And so what we're going to do is going to show the difference between, and we could just call this baby step one, right? The baby step one American versus the velocity banking American. And what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy using lines of credit as your main tool. Now, we all know how Dave Ramsey feels about lines of credit, especially home equity lines of credit, has rant videos about that. But we're going to go ahead and assume that we have access to a home equity line of credit. So, because we're a homeowner right here, and what's a home equity line of credit? It's just like a credit card tied to the value of your home, right? Almost. Just a little bit of nuance, okay? So, let's talk about what we need to do velocity banking. Number one, we need a budget. We already did that, but we're going to do the velocity banking version of it. So here, same income. Now we're going to do the exact opposite of saving $1,000. Okay. And we're going to go here to zero. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make our line of credit as our main operating account, right? So let's just assume we have $175,000 $5,000 line of credit available, $175,000. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to zero savings and have something called cash flow, which is just income minus expenses that's going to represent what we essentially save when we use the line of credit as our main operating account. And as you can see here, they look the same, but I just want to emphasize one thing, right? So let's figure out if we do baby step one, save $1,000, how long is it going to take to actually save $1,000? Now, luckily, this isn't a situation where you're saving 1 penny per month, right? Because every time you make these credit card payments, the credit card payments are going down. If you go to bankrate.com, so let's go to bankrate.com right here, bankrate, CC credit card minimum payment calculator. You could find out all of these numbers that I'm getting just simply by typing it in. So let's say I want to find out what the payment is here. So $5,000 at 30% interest. We'll go ahead and do that. 5,000, and then 30% interest. And let's go ahead and calculate that. And then it'll show you a payment schedule. So this is, I don't know if this is technically an amortization schedule or not, but you'll see that your first payment is 175, then 173, 171. So it does go down a little bit based on your interest rate and also your amount. And you have a set of payments that you're going to make if you're only just making a minimum pay limit. So you could, this is technically, I think, an amortized loan because the payment does go to zero, but you don't have to follow this schedule, or it's not as rigid as it would be, let's say, with an amortized loan. So now, luckily, I have a table of all these values, and I already kind of pre-did the calculation. So we have these 10 credit cards, And then in month one, right, the payments of all these credit cards is $5,345.83. And you can see, oh, we have a leftover penny right here, right? And then we kind of get the next amount that we save up, and then we get the accumulator right here, the total savings. So as you can see right here, if we go down, and I kind of cheated because I did before I record this video, it takes 7 months to save $1,000, right? So let's go ahead and write that down right here. Where can we rate this? Baby step one. Baby step one. I'll just write right here. No, actually, right here. Yeah, right here. So 7 months to 1,000. Let's do that. So 7 months to $1,000 with baby step one. Now, what we want to figure out is all the interest that we paid to get to the 7 months to save $1,000, right? So if we go here, I have a table of all the interest of all the credit cards that we pay in every single month, doing it the Dave Ramsey way to save $1,000. Step one, right? So as you can see here, the interest for the month is $3,533. The next month is a little bit less and a little bit less. And so if we add them up cumulatively, at month 7, it's going to cost us 24K of interest. Okay? 24K of interest. So 7 months, and so we had to pay in two things, time and interest. So 7 months of 24K interest to save $1,000. Isn't that crazy? Like, I cannot believe that. That's even real. So to save $1,000, I had to pay $24,000 in interest. Now, let's compare this with the velocity banking way. Okay? So the way that we do it with velocity banking is we're going to maximize this cash flow number. And so one of the ways that we do that is we take these 10 credit cards and move them to a home equity line of credit. So we're just going to assume that we have a $175,000 limit, and we move all the credit card debt, which is $167,000, we move it into that line of credit, right? And so what happens when we move into line of credit, these all go to zero. Zero, 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 zero. And then I think this last one's the mortgage right here. So that's right. We got all the credit card debt. And let me go back this, make it easier to read. And now we went from a penny to $5,345, right, in cash flow. Even though we went the opposite of Mr. Dave Ramsey's way, which is to save $1,000. Like, no, screw that. We're not going to save $1,000. We're going to have zero savings every single month. And we went from a penny of savings in the first month to $5,345. Now, again, let's just do a quick comparison. With the baby step one, I had to wait 7 months and pay $24,000 in interest to save $1,000, right? Isn't that crazy? I wasted both time and interest, okay? And if I needed $1,000 emergency, then I'd have to wait 7 months to be able to do that, right? If I'm going to use $1,000 for an emergency, okay? So what we're going to do is figure out how long it takes or how much interest we're going to pay in that 7 months. So if we do it the velocity banking way, and I'm going to show you, like I always in every single calculation, of how to get the next month's balance when we do velocity banking. So the actual strategy itself is paycheck into line of credit, expenses out, and then after every single month, the balance is going to go down $5,345. Just as a refresher, what is the benefit of putting your entire paycheck to line of credit? Number one is that it satisfies the minimum monthly payment, so that payment doesn't matter anymore. And number two is that the interest is calculated by the average daily balance. So when you dump your entire paycheck, it doesn't matter if it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. Just put your entire paycheck and satisfy that minimum monthly payment. As long as you have cash flow, then the balance will go down, right? So what we're going to do is get the balance is G2 plus H2, right? Previous month's balance plus previous month's interest. Month 0 we don't have interest, but we include it anyway just because that's the formula. It's really easy to copy and paste, and then subtract it by our cash flow, so 5345.84, right? And so now, let me go ahead and color this black. Yes. Okay. So now what we do is we want to take calculate the interest, which is just taken by the average daily balance of these two, right? Take the average daily balance, multiply by the interest rate, divide by 12. So let's go ahead and do that here. So we're going to find the average function and then multiply it by zero point 0.1, which is the interest rate. And then you want to get the monthly interest rate, that's just divide by 12, right? And so now let's go ahead and do this for 7 months. Okay. So as you can see, we're basically saving not only time, right? Because the moment we do this, we have access to $1,000 immediately, but we also save interest, right? So in order to do it the Dave Ramsey way, so let's go ahead and do this. He's basically saying that you don't have access to $1,000 until that month 7, and you have to pay $24,000 of interest to get to that month 7. Right? Whereas here, if we go ahead and sum up the interest, and we could just do that after 7 months. So let's go ahead and do that. So sum of H2 to H9, right? That's $8,800 of interest compared to 14K, 24K. And so here, let's go ahead and just do a quick calculation. Actually, let me just take a look here. Yeah, 24K, 24,000 minus this. Is this really only 8,000? So H2 to H9. Okay, well, I'll take it. And so it's 24,000 minus this. Oh, did I screw up? Because I shouldn't put a comma. And we had to pay, I thought I had to pay 14 grand in interest, but it seems like I paid 15 grand, right? So I paid 15 grand more than I was supposed to have paid. It's kind of depressing for me, right? And so 7 months, I only paid 8 grand using this method. The Dave Ramsey way, I paid 24 grand. So I lost basically about 15 grand in the process, right? 15 grand. I hope I'm doing my math right, but if not, then you pretty much get what I'm saying, or the idea of it is that if we do it the Dave Ramsey way, again, what's the cost of it? Time and money. Time and money, right? We don't save time, we don't save money. We save 7 months, or I'm sorry, we waste 7 months to be able to save $1,000, and we waste 24 grand to be able to save $1,000. Whereas immediately with velocity banking, we have access to 5,000 off the bat minus $1,000 of interest, right? See how crazy that is? So we don't need $1,000 emergency fund. So here we have $1,000 step one in a beginner emergency fund, and you can kind of see just from doing this how I guess harmful, I don't know if that's the right word, um, doing it this way is, this baby step one. Especially, you gotta stress test these situations, right? In the most ideal situation, almost any strategy will work. Kind of like buying a house in 2020, right? Like you throw a rock at a house and then you buy it, or you sell it. Maybe if you've been holding on for 20, 30 plus years, you're gonna profit because every house is basically shooting fish in a barrel, right? But what I'm saying is that we got to stress test these strategies. So if you're in a pinch where you're making good money and you only have 1 penny left over in a month, we got to figure out, well, what's better for us, this baby step one to start off with, if we got 1 penny, or doing velocity banking, which will turn that penny into 5 grand, right? So, all right, well, that's it for today. And actually, let me top it up with this. So let's see how long it takes for us to pay this $167,000 of credit card debt. And I've always do this all the time. And then we see that it takes us 37 months. So what's 37 divided by 12? 37 divided by 12. That's a little bit over 3 years just to pay $167,000 of debt. Amazing. Right? Well, that's it for today. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship using Dave Ramsey's face as another clickbait thumbnail. Hope you enjoyed it. I think I'll be a little Dave Ramsey'd out for this week, but I don't know when I'll get full-fledged started again with those Dave Ramsey thumbnails, or just another excuse to talk about velocity banking or whatever's on my mind. All right. Well, have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time.